There are many ways to compare the healthfulness of different foods. One can compare nutrient content, for example. So if you were interested in antioxidants, you might compare vitamin C levels. If you did that for our two most popular fruits, apples and bananas, based on vitamin C content, bananas would appear twice as healthy, 10 milligrams in a banana compared to only 5 milligrams in an apple. But vitamin C is just one of thousands of different phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables. Turns out the vitamin C in apples accounts for less than 1% of an apple's total antioxidant activity. Here's the total antioxidant content of a red, delicious apple. Here's how much the vitamin C in the apple contributes. You can hardly even see it. Even though there's only 5 milligrams of vitamin C in a small apple, it has the antioxidant equivalent of 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. I've reviewed before how taking that much vitamin C straight in a supplement might actually have a pro-oxidant effect and cause DNA damage. But you can get 3 times the antioxidant power eating a single apple without the adverse effects. Of course, there's more than just vitamin C in bananas, too. In fact, I was surprised to see this study out of Harvard suggesting that not only blueberries and strawberries, but bananas were significant sources of anthocyanins, the red, blue, violet phytonutrients found in berries. Maybe I underestimated bananas. They are, after all, technically berries. Still, I'm looking at these 3 fruits and I'm thinking, I see some anthocyanins here and here, but not seeing much, red, blue, or violet here. Now, wild bananas are a different story. There's anthocyanins in blue, purple, orange-red, red-purple, and pink-purple bananas, right? But none in yellow. So the Harvard researchers were challenged on it, and they said, look, we just took values from the USDA, and it turns out USDA apparently made a mistake. No anthocyanins in bananas, and despite twice the vitamin C, bananas were beat out by apples in terms of overall antioxidant power. But that's just measuring the ability of these fruits to quench an oxidation reaction in a test tube. It'd be nice to measure actual biological activity. For example, in this apple study, they also measured the ability of apple extracts from both peeled and unpeeled apples to suppress the growth of human cancer cells growing in a petri dish, compared to control. Wouldn't it be great to be able to compare that kind of superpower between different fruits? Well, now we can. Here's a graph of cancer cell proliferation versus increasing concentrations of the 11 most common fruits eaten in the United States. They decided to use human liver cancer for this study. If you drip water on these cancer cells as a control, nothing happens, right? They start out powering away at 100% growth, and they keep powering away at 100% growth. And pineapples, pears, and oranges don't do much better. Peaches start pulling away from the pack. At high peach concentrations, cancer cell proliferation drops about 10%, but bananas and grapefruits work about 4 times better, dropping cancer growth rates by about 40%. Red grapes, strawberries, and apples do even better, cutting cancer cell growth up to half at only half the dose. But these 2 fruits are the winners, causing a dramatic drop in cancer proliferation at just tiny doses: lemons and cranberries. So if you look at the effective dose required to suppress liver cancer cell proliferation, apples are more powerful than bananas, but cranberries win the day. And there was no effective dose listed for orange, pear, or pineapple, since they didn't appear to affect this cancer cell growth at all. For disease prevention and health maintenance, berries of all colors have emerged as champions. Most of the work is focused on cancer prevention and treatment. Studies have shown the anti-cancer effects of berries are partially mediated through their abilities to counteract, reduce, and also repair damage resulting from oxidative stress and inflammation. They may also boost detoxifying enzymes, a bunch of other things, but this is new. The effects of blueberry ingestion on natural killer cell counts. Natural killer cells are part of our immune system's rapid response team against cancer cells, taking them out through the activation of cancer cell suicide via death receptors. They're called natural killers because they don't require activation by prior exposure. You don't want to have to wait until your second tumor before your immune system starts fighting. We have about 2 billion of these soldiers circulating in our bloodstream at any one time, but we may be able to get a troop surge with blueberries. They had athletes eat about 1.5 cups a day for 6 weeks to see if blueberries could reduce the oxidative stress of long-distance running. And indeed, that's what they saw, no surprise, a blunting of the spike in oxidative stress. But that's not what sets this study apart. The number of natural killer cells in the blood typically decreases after prolonged endurance exercise, dropping by half to only about 1 billion, unless you've been eating lots of blueberries, in which case you end up here, because 6 weeks of blueberries doubled the number of natural killer cells, up to over 4 billion. This has never been demonstrated in humans consuming blueberries. Well, no one's ever looked before. There was a study done on goji berries, and despite a cup a day for a month, there was no significant change in the number of natural killer cells. There was a study, though, that showed a significant increase in natural killer cell activity thanks to the spice cardamom. Cardamom and blueberries. I never thought we'd be fighting cancer with blueberry muffins, but check this out. You take some lymphoma cells in a petri dish, and you add cardamom, and nothing happens. If, however, you add some natural killers, and about 5% of the cancer cells are wiped out. But then you add a little cardamom, and your troops do a little better. And then if you add more, and all of a sudden, same number of natural killer cells, but they're now able to kill off 10 times more cancer cells. And remember, cardamom alone, even at the highest dose, had no effect on cancer cells, but it really seemed to enhance our NK cells' killer instincts. The same thing found for black pepper. Black pepper alone, nothing, and a little black pepper, no effect, but with enough there seemed to be a boosting effect, up around 30 or 40% cancer cell clearance. And if you add them both together, they appear to synergize and kind of work even better together. Taken together, these data strongly suggest that black pepper and cardamom have the potential to markedly enhance the anti-cancer activity of natural killer cells. And then imagine if you had twice as many in your bloodstream, thanks to this study, brought to you by, of course, the North American Blueberry Council and the North Carolina Blueberry Council. But then the last sentence is my favorite. There were no conflicts of interest.